Episode 2. Who controls the intelligence? In the last episode, we explored how artificial intelligence quietly became embedded into the systems that shape our world. Financial markets, information platforms, government infrastructure. But that raises a far more uncomfortable question. If intelligence is becoming centralized, who actually controls it? Because whoever controls the intelligence controls the future. Chapter 1. The new power resource. In the past, global power depended on resources: oil, land, factories. Today, the most valuable resource is something else entirely: data. Every search, every click, every message, every purchase. Modern AI systems are trained on oceans of human behavior, and the organizations that collect the most data have the most powerful intelligence. But data alone is not enough. You also need something even rarer: compute. Chapter 2. The compute barrier. Training advanced AI models requires enormous computing power. But enormous doesn't quite capture the scale. We're witnessing a demand for computation that is growing at a rate that dwarfs Moore's law. While the number of transistors on a chip historically doubled every 2 years, the compute needed to train state-of-the-art AI models has been doubling every 6 months. This exponential hunger for processing power has created a formidable obstacle, a new kind of digital divide known as the compute barrier. It's a barrier not of access to information, but of access to the very means of creating intelligence. At the heart of this barrier are the physical cathedrals of the digital age: massive data centers. These aren't just warehouses full of computers. They are meticulously engineered ecosystems. A single facility can span over 1 million square feet and consume more than 100 megawatts of power, enough to light up a small city. The cost of building just one of these hyperscale centers can easily exceed $1 billion, and that's before you even install the processors. Inside these facilities are tens of thousands of specialized processors. We're not talking about the CPU in your laptop. These are graphics processing units, or GPUs, and more recently, custom-designed tensor processing units, or TPUs. Originally designed for rendering video games, their parallel architecture makes them uniquely suited for the complex matrix calculations of neural networks. A single high-end AI training server, equipped with 8 of the latest GPUs, can cost more than a luxury car. And a frontier model might require a cluster of over 25,000 of these GPUs, all working in concert for months on end. The total investment in hardware, power, and maintenance quickly runs into the billions of dollars. This colossal barrier to entry means that only a handful of organizations on Earth can operate at this scale. The resources required are so immense that they are beyond the reach of universities, startups, and even most national governments. The players at this level are the titans of the tech industry. Companies like OpenAI, backed by Microsoft's vast cloud infrastructure; Google, with its DeepMind division and custom-built hardware; Meta, leveraging its massive data and resources; and a few other key players in the global technology landscape. These are the organizations building the most advanced intelligence systems humanity has ever created. They are pushing the boundaries of what's possible, creating models that can write poetry, generate code, and even make scientific discoveries. But this concentration of power raises a critical question. These systems are not public utilities. They are not open platforms developed in the collaborative spirit of the early internet. They are private technologies, developed behind closed doors, governed by corporate policies, and protected as the most valuable trade secrets in the world. The models, the training data, and even the architectural innovations are proprietary assets, which means intelligence itself, the very capability to reason, to create, and to solve problems at a superhuman scale, is becoming a centralized and privatized resource. The ability to build the future is being concentrated in the hands of a few. Now, there are counter-currents. The open-source community is fighting to keep pace, with groups like Eleuther AI and Lion creating powerful models and datasets accessible to all. Projects like Falcon and Llama 2, released by forward-thinking institutions and companies, offer a glimpse of a more distributed future. These efforts are heroic and vital. They provide crucial alternatives and prevent a complete monopoly on AI development, but they are consistently outspent and outscaled. While the open-source world might build an impressive race car, the tech giants are building an entire fleet of starships. This isn't a critique of the companies themselves. They are simply operating at the frontier where the costs are astronomical. It is an observation of the system that is emerging. A system where the most powerful tool ever invented is controlled by a select few, creating a new and profound form of inequality. The compute barrier doesn't just determine who can build AI. It determines who gets to shape the future of human intelligence. Chapter 3. The Invisible Infrastructure. Most people think of AI as a chatbot, but behind the scenes it is becoming infrastructure. AI now assists with financial trading, medical analysis, cybersecurity defense, military simulations, content recommendation. Every year, more decisions are partially automated, not because machines are superior in every way, but because they are faster, and in systems driven by efficiency, speed wins. Chapter 4. The Governance Problem. Here is where things become complicated. We've moved beyond the purely technical challenges of building artificial intelligence. We are now squarely in the realm of power, ethics, and control. The systems we're creating are no longer just tools. They are becoming fundamental infrastructure for our society. They shape our economies, our politics, and even our personal relationships. And with that immense influence comes an equally immense responsibility. The central challenge is no longer just, can we build it, but how should we govern it? This brings us to a series of profound and difficult questions. Who decides how these systems behave? Think of an autonomous vehicle facing an unavoidable accident. Does it prioritize its occupant or a group of pedestrians? The code that makes that split-second decision wasn't written by a philosopher or an elected official. It was likely written by a software engineer guided by a product manager. Their personal ethics, their cultural background, their employer's liability concerns. All of these are embedded into that single, critical choice. And who defines the rules? In a democratic society, we have established processes for creating laws. They are debated in public, voted on by representatives, and interpreted by courts. But the laws governing AI are often written in private, within the walls of a handful of technology companies. These rules can be as explicit as a list of banned keywords for a content filter, or as subtle as the weighting given to different variables in a loan application algorithm. This is a new form of lawmaking, one that is opaque, unaccountable, and happening at a scale and speed that traditional governance can't match. Who determines what information is prioritized? And what is filtered out? Every time you use a search engine or scroll through a social media feed, you are interacting with a system that has made millions of editorial decisions on your behalf. It has decided which news sources are authoritative, which products you are most likely to buy, which friends' updates you see first. It has also decided what you see, the dissenting opinions, the inconvenient facts, the content deemed harmful or irrelevant. These aren't neutral acts of information retrieval. They are powerful acts of curation that shape our perception of reality. To understand how these decisions are made, we have to look at the process. AI systems are trained. They ingest colossal datasets, the text of the internet, millions of images, entire libraries of code, learning patterns, relationships, and concepts from the raw material of human culture. Then they are fine-tuned. This is a more delicate process, where the raw, powerful model is refined using smaller, more curated datasets. Techniques like reinforcement learning from human feedback are used, where human reviewers rank the model's outputs, teaching it to be more helpful, less harmful, and more aligned with desired conversational norms. The system is constantly adjusted. Engineers tweak safety filters, update block lists, and patch vulnerabilities as they are discovered. It's a continuous process of maintenance and intervention, trying to steer the model's behavior in real time. The goal of all this is to make the system aligned. But alignment depends on values. What does it mean for an AI to be helpful, honest, and harmless? Helpful to whom? Honest about what? Harmless according to which ethical framework? A model trained to maximize user engagement might be seen as helpful by a social media company, but harmful by a psychologist concerned with teen mental health. A model that refuses to discuss controversial political topics might be seen as harmless by its creators, but as a form of censorship by a free speech advocate. And these values depend on the people who build and tune the systems. Every choice, from the data selected for training, to the guidelines given to human reviewers, to the final safety protocols, is a reflection of the values of a small, specific group of individuals. They are, in effect, encoding their worldview into the digital fabric of our lives. This isn't a conspiracy, it's a simple, structural reality. The people in the room make the decisions. So the real question becomes, what happens when the values of system architects, their priorities, their biases, their blind spots, their commercial incentives, do not match the values of society? This isn't a hypothetical problem for the future. It is the defining governance challenge of our time. We are witnessing the largest, most rapid, and most concentrated privatization of public discourse and social norms in human history. The decisions being made today in a few dozen boardrooms will define the operating system for the 21st century. Finding a way to make that process more transparent, more accountable, and more representative of the global public it serves is not just a technical issue. It is a democratic imperative. Chapter 5. The Global AI Race. While most people debate the risks of AI, governments are racing to develop it. The United States, China, Europe. Every major power understands something critical. Whoever leads in artificial intelligence, leads in economic influence, military capability, and technological dominance. AI is not just a tool, it is the next strategic frontier, and that race is already underway. On Chapter 6, The Real Divide. But while nations compete, another divide is quietly forming. Those who understand how these systems work, and those who simply interact with their outputs. The difference between the two will shape the next era of society. One group builds the architecture, the other lives inside it. And once systems reach a certain scale, most people never see the architecture at all. Closing. The upgrade theory. We stand at a precipice, looking out over a landscape being redrawn in real time by forces we are only beginning to comprehend. Artificial intelligence is not just a technological revolution, it is far more profound than that. The Industrial Revolution gave us machines to amplify our physical strength. The Digital Revolution gave us computers to amplify our clerical abilities. But this, the Cognitive Revolution, offers something else entirely: the amplification and automation of thought itself. It is a power shift, and like all great power shifts in history, it is quiet, almost invisible to those not looking for it, until its effects become undeniable. Power is no longer solely derived from land or capital or labor. A new currency is emerging: the ability to command vast intelligent systems. The entities that build, own, and master these AI frameworks are accumulating a form of influence that transcends traditional economic and political boundaries. They are not just building better tools, they are architecting the very infrastructure of future decision-making, from global supply chains to personal information feeds. This concentration of cognitive power into the hands of a few creates a new global aristocracy, a class of system architects whose influence may soon dwarf that of nations. And the most important question is not whether AI will exist. It already does. It is the silent partner in your daily life. It curates the news you read, suggests the products you buy, navigates the routes you drive, and even filters the job applications you submit. It operates in the background, a subtle, persistent influence shaping your choices and perceptions in ways that are often too seamless to notice. We have invited these systems into the most intimate corners of our lives, trusting their efficiency without always questioning their agenda. This isn't a dystopian forecast. It is a simple statement of fact about the world of today. The system is already in place, its tendrils woven deep into the fabric of our society. The real question is, will you understand the system shaping the future, or simply experience their consequences? To be a passive user in this new era is to be a subject. It means your career path, your financial opportunities, and even your personal beliefs will be influenced, if not determined, by black box algorithms you can neither inspect nor question. It is to accept the weather of the system without ever learning to read the sky. The consequences are not merely about inconvenience, they are about agency. Losing the ability to understand the why behind the decisions that shape your life is a fundamental loss of autonomy. You become a passenger in your own existence, carried along by currents you did not choose and cannot steer. This is where the upgrade theory begins, because understanding the system is the first step toward navigating it. This is not about becoming a coder or a data scientist, though those paths are valuable. It is about developing a new literacy, a literacy of systems. It's about learning to ask the right questions. What data is this system using? What biases might be encoded in it? What is its ultimate objective? Who profits from its operation? This is the foundational skill for the 21st century. The ability to look at a piece of technology and see not magic, but a set of rules, incentives, and objectives. To navigate is to reclaim your agency. It means transforming from a passive consumer of outputs to an active participant who can anticipate, adapt, and even influence the system itself. It's the difference between being told what to do by your GPS and understanding the map well enough to find a better route. In a world governed by intelligent systems, this knowledge is not just an advantage, it is a prerequisite for freedom. It allows you to identify the walls of the maze before you hit them, and to find the doors that others don't even know exist. This is the core principle of the upgrade theory, that with the right mental models, anyone can learn to see the architecture of the invisible world around them. In the next episode, we explore something even more unsettling. We will pull back the curtain on the ghosts in the machine, the emergent, unpredictable behaviors that arise when complex AI systems interact. These are the phenomena that even their creators cannot fully control, leading to consequences that are as fascinating as they are frightening. We will examine how these digital ghosts are already making decisions in finance, defense, and logistics, operating beyond direct human oversight. Join us as we investigate the dawn of autonomous systems and the urgent need for a new kind of containment. What happens when AI systems start making decisions that humans no longer fully understand? Subscribe, because the age of intelligent systems has only just begun.